Location, location, location. This 3-star motel-style resort somehow manages to be known as being both hidden away and situated in the heart of International Drive. But is it meeting expectations? For any budget-minded Orlando vacationers, the Avanti International Resort could be the place to be if willing to make a couple sacrifices. When it's not engulfed in flames, of course. Hi, I'm the Frugal Brit. My mission is to review every noteworthy hotel in Orlando, and for this video I'll provide a breakdown of the good and the not so good reviews of the Avanti International Resort. And I'll also provide some hopefully useful tips to help in getting the best out of any vacation at this resort. Avanti International is an 11-minute walk away from the iconic Ikson Park to the north, which features several impressive minor attractions, and it's also 11 minutes walk away from Point Orlando to the south, which is another focal point of International Drive. And so you can definitely understand why location is the main attraction with this resort. Avanti International comes in around $70 midweek in September for 2 adults and around $86 on a Saturday, at around 10 to 20% if you're travelling in the summer months. And you'll also want to account for the $14 resort fee per day which you'll pay for at the end of your stay. The standard rooms are equipped with a coffee maker, mini refrigerator, hair dryer, ironing board and a safe, and housekeeping is included as well. So no omissions that I think you should be concerned with here. I should note that the older rooms tend to have a bath, whereas the newer renovated standard rooms feature a walk-in shower. Without a doubt, the main centrepiece of this resort is the huge pool area, which features zero-depth entry, fountains, waterfalls for children, and a jacuzzi. And surrounding this, you have the resort's pool bar and a very popular artificial beach area for volleyball. Other amenities include a fitness centre, a games room, and a cafe that sells Starbucks coffee. So as mentioned, with this hotel you pay a daily resort fee of $14 including tax per room per night, and this includes Wi-Fi throughout the hotel, scheduled theme park shuttles, self-parking and fitness centre access. In addition to the lobby barista, this hotel offers the cafe and marketplace, which offers counter-style restaurants serving breakfast, lunch and dinner, and at poolside you have the Avanti pool bar and grill. So as you've probably picked up by now, the feature that gets the most praise at this resort is its location. And I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that this is probably my favourite off-site location in Orlando, partly due to its equidistance to the main focal point on I-Drive, but mainly because of the nearby restaurants. I did a top 10 restaurants on International Drive video, and this hotel is right in the middle of all my top picks. Another standout positive with this resort, based on my review analysis, is the friendly staff. The vast majority of positive reviews refer to how great staff had been for their vacation, and even a lot of the negative reviews couldn't resist acknowledging the fantastic hospitality. The next positive I want to talk about is the Wi-Fi, which I know is important for a lot of my fellow Brits given we can't use our data whilst over there. From my research, I could find very few reviews talking about Wi-Fi strength, which is exactly what you want, and pretty much all those that did referred to it as being strong. I had to go back to December 2018 to find a negative review on Wi-Fi strength, so it seems this isn't something you'll likely need to worry about. The rooms got fairly mixed reviews for reasons I'll unpack in the next section, but I would say that the rooms at Avanti International do look more modern when compared to similarly priced alternatives, like some of the Rosen hotels. And also you get more space than you would expect when compared to somewhere like the Cabana Bay. I did also see several comments praising the beds for being very comfortable. The online reviews concerning the pool, which is open until 11 PM each evening, were overwhelmingly positive. You're handed towels upon entrance, which is always a welcomed, nice touch. And it seems that you won't ever have trouble trying to get hold of a sun lounger, regardless of what time of year you're travelling. If you are wondering whether it's worth spending a little extra on this resort compared to some of the cheaper options on International Drive, then I would point to the amenities within this pool area. If you're in need of a lazy day away from the parks, your children will forgive you in a resort like this. The Dining at this resort isn't mentioned a lot in the online reviews, probably because people tend to take advantage of other options nearby. But people do say that it's reasonably priced when compared to your typical on-site hotel restaurant. There's not a lot to say here other than that it's just about meeting expectations. Whilst we're on the topic of meeting expectations, if this video is or isn't meeting yours, please let me know by hitting the like or dislike button and feel free to leave a comment. The biggest issue of complaint by far at Avanti International was the standard and consistency of the housekeeping. There's an alarming proportion of guests referring to floors not being cleaned properly during their stay. Based on all the resorts that I've reviewed so far, the housekeeping does not compare well at this resort, in particular with regards to the floors being kept clean. I do get the impression from my analysis that housekeeping staff have been very stretched in the summer 2019. And so if you're planning to stay here off-peak, it is less likely to be an issue. But of course, if good housekeeping is your top priority, I really wouldn't recommend this resort. The rooms at Avanti International look more modern than some of its competitors, but that doesn't necessarily mean any better. They're not as durable as some of the more dated looking hotel rooms in some of my other hotel reviews. There just seems to be an above average amount of leaking going on, whether that's from the shower, the ceiling, the air conditioning units, and in one case the toilet pan. It does seem that a lot of these rooms haven't been put together in the best way possible. For anyone that stayed here, please let me know in the comments if you think I'm being a bit harsh here, and let me know if your experience was any different. As mentioned, the pool and surrounding amenities get a big thumbs up, but one thing I saw mentioned a few times was the lack of parasols, so if staying here you may find yourself clambering for some shade under a palm tree. This resort is of course on International Drive, but it has been built so that it's tucked away from the hustle and bustle of I-Drive. The only downside to this is that it is a bit closer to the noise of the I-4, but this is likely to only affect those based on that side of the resort. Unlike several hotels in this price bracket on I-Drive, Avanti International charges a resort fee. At $14, this isn't the highest I've seen, and crucially there isn't an extra charge for parking, but nevertheless it does make the pricing less transparent, especially for those not familiar with this custom. And because of that, it does leave a bad taste with many guests, mainly with my fellow Brits. As with every Orlando hotel I've reviewed so far, the shuttle buses get mixed reviews. I saw a few people comment that the Disney shuttles were not particularly convenient. One reason for this was because the shuttles would pick up before park closure or super late in the evening. One issue of complaint that I did find quite concerning was hearing some people that had pre-booked their vacation only to be told at arrival at reception that the hotel was fully booked and that they would instead have to alternatively stay at its sister hotel, the Avanti Palms Resort and Conference Centre, further north on I-Drive. Avanti Palms is a very decent resort, but a lot of people do book Avanti International because of its very specific location on International Drive, so it's completely understandable where guests feel aggrieved by this. So in summary, the room floors won't be kept as clean as you'd like, and some rooms have some maintenance problems. But if you are looking for an off-site resort under $100, you just have to consider the Avanti International. It's personally my favourite location on International Drive, and a lot of this hotel's problems can be mitigated to a certain extent if you follow some of my tips in the next section. Number 1. If you do intend on using the shuttle buses to the theme parks, be sure to book 24 hours in advance as they are in high demand, especially the Disney shuttles. Number 2. Given the housekeeping problems, failing to tip your cleaners will only exacerbate this issue, so I would recommend that you get this sorted each day. Don't leave a lump sum on checkout. Instead, a general rule of thumb is to tip a minimum of $1 per person and a minimum of $2 in total each day. I know some of my fellow Brits may feel that you shouldn't have to do this for housekeeping, especially if it's not up to standard, which I get, but tipping cleaners is a well-established custom. Number 3. If If you do find yourself frustrated with the housekeeping, rather than failing to give a tip, I would instead highlight this to reception as soon as possible and make it very clear to them what your expectations are. I saw far too many reviews of people observing poor housekeeping without actually raising this with reception. Number 4. So with room selection, I would have to recommend Building 2. This gets the most recommendations. It has recently renovated rooms, and importantly, it's not facing the noisy I4. With that in mind, I wouldn't recommend staying in Building 3, as this is the closest to the I4, and many have said the rooms are looking a bit tired in comparison. There's no consensus on whether a pool view room facing inwards is a good choice on room selection. If noise is a concern for you, with the pool being open until 11 PM, which it has been for some, I recommend facing the parking lot. But if you like the idea of being able to people watch overlooking the pool area, then of course request this instead. Personally, I would recommend a room on the top floor because it's less noisy, you'll get better views, and you'll also get less traffic in the hallways. Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. You may want to see how this hotel stacks up against other resorts in Orlando, so do check out my other reviews. If you're interested in future hotel reviews and other Orlando vacation content, don't forget to subscribe.